Hi, this is Angel Ent, and this is a presentation for the Sweetwater Assessment Team, and we're going to talk a little bit about the past year of data from the GMAS assessment and the 2 previous years of CRCT data. The purpose of this meeting, we're going to address these 2 essential questions. How can we analyze our data to identify patterns that will enable us to discuss and devise strategies that will bolster student achievement at Sweetwater Elementary? Once identified, how can we use what we learn about strengths, weaknesses, and the trends to help us improve student outcomes at Sweetwater? The demographics, looking at the current year, 2015 to 2016, we have over half the population that is Black or African American. We have a quarter of the population Hispanic, and 15% white, 1% Asian, and 5% multiracial. Taking a look at the last 3 years of CCRPI scores, we can see that starting out in 2013, we were at 60.7, which was 15 points away from the county, and we had a narrowed gap in 2014 with both the county and the school being at 72%, which was a good increase between 2013 to 2014. And in 2015, we widened the gap a little bit. Our CCRPI went down a few points to 68.7. And of course, we know that things like attendance and other things can affect our CCRPI. So we'll continue to have discussions to see what we can do to help improve that score in the future. Looking at attendance, which is a component of CCRPI, we can see that in both 2013 and 2014, that there are significant part of the population, if you combine them, we've got a significant portion over both years that have either 6 to 15 days absent or over 15 days absent. So these combined, that's something that is possible target that we could address to see maybe we could start some incentives to get the kids to school for more days, which would help improve attendance, which would help improve learning, which would help improve CCRPI. So attendance is something that, that we could look at to see if we could instill some things to improve that. All right, looking at the CRCT reading scores from 2012 to 2014, taking a look at that, it looks like from 2013 to 2014, we had a good increase for the white subgroup in the number that actually exceeded on the CRCT. That number went from 40% to 54%. Which was a good increase. And then we also saw an increase in students with disabilities in the exceeds category. So they went from 7% and basically doubled to 15.8%. Taking a look at the ELA scores, the biggest point of concern here is to see that looking at the does not meet categories, you've got relatively similar percentage here, but looking at both years for the students with disabilities, 42.9% in 2012-2013 and 42.1% in 2013-2014 did not meet. So that is an area of concern that would definitely be a place where we could have some discussions to see what we could do to help that particular subgroup, since so many of them are not meeting in that particular category. Looking at the rest of the performance year over year, the trends look similar, but that's just one that is very disturbing for that particular subgroup, and something needs to be addressed there to help them, especially with the upcoming GMAS assessments being even more rigorous. Taking a look at the CRCT math from 2012 to 2014, again, there's not similar trends that are going on. It's interesting to note that the students with disabilities, there were only 3.6% that exceeded in 2012 to 2013, and that increased to 10.5% at the end of 2014. So that was a good increase for them. Something happened here with the exceeds for the Hispanic subgroup. They were exceeding more at the end of 2013 than at the end of 2014. But if you look at the percentage that did not meet, that was similar at 31% that did not meet at the end of 2013, and then 29% at the end of 2014. So that's still, again, that is a third of their population that's not meeting, so that those concerns need to be addressed most certainly. And similarly, there's 42% again in math for students with disabilities that are not meeting on the math CRCT. So that is very much a concern that needs to be discussed with the data team. Taking a look at the first year administration of the Georgia Milestones Assessment, again, we're looking at the subgroup of students with disabilities, and 88.9% of them were at the beginning stage. I believe we set a goal that we wanted most of our kids to be at least developing, and so the fact that we've got almost 90% of the students with disabilities that are at the beginning shows us that we definitely have more work that needs to be done there. And so that's probably the most, alarming thing there. We've definitely got more kids in the beginning level for GMAS than we would like to see. We definitely like to see more developing so that we could actually push them to proficient, but it will be interesting to see what a second year's worth of data looks like after we've been exposed to the first year and had more time to practice. Taking a look at the Georgia Milestones for math, the first year administration, same thing here. We see that our students with disabilities are overwhelmingly at a level where we're wondering what is it that we can do to help them to at least get to developing, and ideally we'd like to have most of our kids proficient. And so looking at the new milestones format will be a discussion point going forward to see what we can do to help the students in our school. It's also interesting to see that from the distinguished category, there were 4.8% of the Black population that actually made that status on the Georgia Milestones, but no other subgroup did. So that will be something that we'll look at after we get results from the next year's administration, so we can compare 2 years of the Georgia Milestones to see what we can do to help our students. So looking overall at the strengths and weaknesses, some strengths that were noticed in the data 2012 to 2014 compared showed an increase in all subgroups in the exceeds category for CRCT reading. 2012 to 2014 compared showed an increase to 10.5%, an overall 7% increase of students with disabilities exceeding in math. And our weaknesses, in 2014, over a third of students with disabilities did not meet on CRCT reading, and both years showed 42% of students with disabilities did not meet on ELA CRCT. So the new GMAS format is also proving to be a challenge for all of our students and our students with disabilities especially. Some school improvement statements, things that we've been working on already to try to help improve scores and improve student achievement at Sweetwater. The 2015-2016 school year will be the second year of Eureka Math implementation to help address needs in math. Instruction and practice is in place to support students in writing to prepare for constructed response. And new for the 2015-2016 school year, we now have Title I tutors and RTI specialists that are in place, and they're dedicated to support both the primary and intermediate grades. So hopefully this will show some gains for us and be able to help us support even more students that need additional help. So the discussion questions to open up to the group. How can we better meet the needs of our students with disabilities in ELA? How can we better meet the needs of our Hispanic population? What strategies could be integrated to improve reading, writing, and ELA to support students this year as they prepare for the GMATs? Because we're highlighting a couple of the subgroups here that need additional help, but honestly, overall, just switching to the format of the Georgia Milestones is really something that all of our students need help with. So that is something that I would open up to the group at this point so we could talk and see what kind of strategies we could come up with to help our students in their achievement. Thank you for your time.